Hi guys, welcome to Hope Channel Kenya. Thank you for tuning in. You're watching The Identity, and we are grateful for the guests who have gotten in touch with us on our SMP platforms. We hope that the feedback is in our side here. Now, after learning about saving, there's something that is critical that we need to learn about before we start spending them cash. Today, to help me in this discussion is Moses Orina. How are you?
I'm very fine. How are you?
Niko salama.
Niko salama.
Karibu.
Asante.
Next to him is Matrin Adhiambo. Matrin.
Yes.
Vipi?
Salama sana.
Uko salama?
Sana.
Kabisa. Karibu.
Thank you.
Next to me is Judy Ayanga. Judy, usicheke. How are you?
I'm good.
Kabisa?
Sana.
Karibu.
Thank you.
And lastly is Krista Oboch.
Yes.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Kuna mjamaa alikuwa anakuja shona anaitwa Eston Oboch.
Yes.
Mko related?
Somehow.
Yes. Ni nywele tu ndio una.
Ni nywele tu.
Karibu. Karibu sana. Today we're going to talk about stewardship, and please join in this conversation on our SMP, that is Facebook, The Identity. You can also get this, you can also post on our Hope Channel page. You can also get to tweet us, that is at Hope_Kenya. You can also watch this show on the previous show on the YouTube platform, that is Hope Channel Kenya. Now, Matrin.
Yes.
When you're talking about after kuongelea umesave pesa, alafu tukuje kwa stewardship, it will be proper for me to ask, what is stewardship kwanza?
Stewardship, in the simplest way that I can express, is it watchmanship. Like you have been given something to watch over. Now it means that the property is not yours. You're only giving a watch. So when we talk about stewardship, is that you have been assigned to look after something and you're responsible for that thing. Yeah. So in this case, we have been assigned during the festive season to be watchmen of our own earnings, or rather money. Yes.
So watchman mwenye kwa nyumbani yeye ni steward. Mose, is it possible kukuwa faithful? This I should say, people have said it's a challenge, but is it possible to be faithful in expenses, especially the things that come from God?
Yes, I believe it is very, very possible.
Very possible.
It is very possible. It is realistic. Actually, that is what we are supposed to do. We should be faithful with what God has bestowed in our custody.
Sasa Mose,
Yes.
umefanya job the whole year. The whole year.
Yes.
Your pesa si ni yako, rightfully yours.
Exactly. Hiyo nimeifanya. But then
Sasa mbona Mungu anaingilia pesa yako?
I will tend to say, nitasema providence ya hiyo pesa ni ya Mungu. Mungu ndo amefanya nikapata hiyo pesa. So kuna 10% yake hapo. Ni yangu yote, lakini kuna 10% yake hapo. Yenye amesema nipeleke kwa storehouse yake. So I think that is it. Judy.
Mbona 10%? Siachukue mingi tu kidogo kama ni yake.
When you read the book of Leviticus, I believe around 27:20, the Bible says that it's the 10th, the tithe comes from the 10th, which is the Lord's. So the 10% is the Lord's. That is from the Bible, and we are students of the Bible. And so when it's 10%, it's 10%.
Okay.
Imepatiwa na Mungu directly.
Hii ni Mungu amesema tena.
Yeah, that says the Lord.
Krista.
Yes.
Being a youth.
Yes.
Tunatongia 10% kweli.
I have to say, some do, but most of the number doesn't. Basically because they say that they don't earn anything, which is a fallacy. It is an error in reasoning, because when you look at it very carefully, youths, some of them are employed, others are not. Those who are employed, they basically have to remit the 10%. But those who are not employed, out of the pocket money that you are being given by your parent or your guardian, you should be able to actually take that and give it 10% to the Lord, because that is called stewardship.
Judy, mimi ni mwanafunzi. Mzazi alipata mshahara yake yote. Alitoa 10%. Mimi akanipatia pesa ishatolewa 10%. Kuna haja kutoa 10% tena kweli?
Now, this is my take. It has always been a topic of discussion among students, and I'm still a student na bado nikikuwa around first year, second year, we used to think about that. Me, it's not like I'm working, so but what I believe is iyo ni kama your upkeep, right? What you've been given, not necessarily that you've worked for it, but that's what you've been given. And so out of that, you should remove that 10%. And after all, this habit, let me say habit, quote unquote, ya kutoa the 10%, giving out the tithe. It starts from the little things, because you'll say that, I'll go through my 4 years in campus and then turns out to 10% when I work. Kama hauko umeanza kutoa ukiwa shule, it will become a challenge when you've started earning. So it's something that should be inborn in us. This cash that we've been sent by our parents, it's like it's for our upkeep, yes, but it's like what they've I really don't know what the exact term I should use, but what I believe out of that we should calculate the 10% and give it out.
There's a speaker that I heard speaking akisema, Steward, ndio utoe hiyo 10%, it's basically 10% of your income, so you didn't have the pocket money, so to speak, and now you have had an income to your how can I call it, to your account, so you should basically to your 10%. Now we are in the festivities, so to speak, tuko mwezi ya watu kurarua na kubonda mwili juni, it only happens once. Do you think it's still necessary to tithe, ama tumalizana kwanza na festivities alafu tunaanza kutithe January? Metrin.
It is very necessary to tithe, because just like Judy was saying, God does not change. That is why we don't have 10, we don't have 15, 20. He is very constant. So we should also be constant in tithing, in season and out of season. As much as Christmas inakuja tu mara moja. Like we should not assume and then we say that, let me just use this and then I will start tithing again. What if hiyo time itaikuja? What if immediately after Christmas, God forbid, you are not there? Now when will you ever tithe? So my point is, tithing is something that we should be very consistent with, and we are not giving because we have, but we're giving because the Lord has blessed us. So we just give back as an appreciation. We're just saying thank you to God. So thank you should even be during the festive season. Yes.
Wow, Mose. Kama vijana kuna challenges mingi because you're still talking about tithe. What is one of those challenges that you think we as youths in this festive season that is going to inhibit us from, bringing back the things that belong to God?
I think talking about that, as youths, we need a lot of things. I would like to have a very nice suit like our engineer.
Engineer.
I would like to have these things that are currently trending. Na itafika hiyo wakati wa Christmas ni feel hata mimi require this, and then in that process I forget that I'm supposed to tithe. You see, that becomes very wrong. I was having a conversation yesterday with somebody I work with, and then he was telling me, unajua hata Mungu anaelewa. Inafika time una agree na Mungu. Unaambia Mungu, unaona hata wewe unaona sasa hivi Christmas. Acha tu ninunue suti na hii tithe, but then next month nitatoa faithfully. That is not the way it is supposed to be. So the challenge we have as youths.
Karibisha Mike.
The challenge we have as youths, we do not want to be disciplined with our finances, I can say. We are not strict to what we want to do with the money that we have. So we end up not giving the tithe. Yes.
Krista. Oh, please admit it.
Okay. I can also say that what brings that is when we don't budget. So when you don't budget, then we come to impulse buying, whereby you're talking about him seeing a suit, and then he wants to have that. Now, if you don't budget, those are what's some of the things that you will undergo.
You know what makes me happy? Umangalia budget. Na ninataka bring in Judy as I come to you, Krista. Mwanaume, I don't, it's just me, but mwanaume has a budget. Mwanamke has a budget.
Yes.
And do ladies budget for the spontaneous buying habit?
The impulse buying? Probably not. Maybe nakwanga uko kwa miscellaneous.
So nakwanga na budget kubwa miscellaneous, so to speak. Aki ladies, why do you have budget kubwa miscellaneous?
But to add on the budget thing, also believe that, once you understand about stewardship, then it will become a lifestyle. Stewardship should be a lifestyle, as a Christian. So when you understand that stewardship is my all in response to God's, when you understand that you are indebted to God through the, the meals that we take and everything, and you realize that, God is our benefactor, is our preserver, then it will become automatic, They come and I wake up knowing that I'm going to eat, but then do I acknowledge the source of that meal? Yeah, so I think it should not think, but I am persuaded that it should be a lifestyle.
Wow. Krista, kuna challenge nyingine yenye sisi vijana tu challenge hatutoi tithe faithfully.
Yes. First, sisi kama vijana, we've not yet known what tithing is. We see tithe and then we think about this money thing, which is not usually the case. When we look at it very carefully, it's not a synonym for money. It is something totally not it is money related, but it's not necessarily primarily money. So when we look at it as youths, we usually think we give to God so that we can receive.
It's like tuna blackmail.
Yes,
Chukua hii ndio sasa ikifika time fulani nikidisha na nipea.
Which is very wrong. What we should it is actually, it's because God has actually blessed us. For example, we have good health, we have wealth, and we have a lot of things that God has given us. So in return, what do? We tithe. It is not giving, it is returning. Yes. What is not yours. So once we understand that tithing is all about returning what is not ours, not giving, then we, as youths, will know where to belong. Yes.
There's something that Moses had touched on, and I also want you to add comment is, once we become disciplined, we will of course want to give tithe every time we have an income. But then kuna kijana mali anasema, what is understanding, number one. Plus, anaona enye tuko December. Mungu anajua tuko December. Hakuna vile uta avoid kuspend. Si ndio? How about niamue kama tithe yangu ilikuwa let's say 2000. Si ndio? How about nitumie 2000 hii December, nitumie alafu January ikifika nampatia 4000. Na postpone kutithe. Hiyo knowledge ngoja si knowledge iko mid stars. What do you think about it?
What I think about that is how sure are you about tomorrow? Because we do not know about tomorrow. Even the Bible says tomorrow will take care of itself. So we should plan for today as we look into the future. So you or any youth postponing tithing today for next month, it is very wrong.
I think I fall victim. I did that once. Mate, hujaifanya hiyo? Mate, nisema kweli. Hujai postpone tithe?
Nimewahi. But I want to say it's not like God is poor, that our tithe are going to help him. It is just a sign of obedience. And then when God has asked us to, how would you feel if God delayed your salary? Like this month haupati, utazipata zote next month. How would you feel as a human being? So it's not like when we postponed, Mungu atasikia vibaya, but somehow it is a sign of disobedience. What if next season, next month again, you get into a party celebration and then you want to postpone again? So there is danger in postponing because number one, as he has said, hatujui ya kesho. So whatever belongs to God, it is a divine command. We should not go against it. We should just give, and then we shall be blessed. Okay, we have already been blessed. Yes.
To add on that, it's a festive season, and it's it's usually after the festive season comes January. Yes. So you can imagine unasema so January okay, and then that January comes, and then you remember, I need to get my sisters are going to school, so my parents are budgeting for textbooks and everything. So it also becomes hard, as in let's live today as today. So because January itafika and it will be like, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to register for this, and then you'll push it to February. Before you know it, itakuwa mid-May huko ama June, and then you'll be like, you'll be all messed up.
Mungu atasamehe. As I come to Moses, Judy, and I also want you to clarify on something. Do we give back because we are to be blessed, or do we give back because we are blessed?
We give because we are blessed. We already have these things, and
What I think is unfortunate, most of us count blessing as material things.
Yeah.
that is so wrong.
That is why I think it's even a challenge for us to quantify, so to speak, the test that you're supposed to give in. Because there's somebody who will sit back and say, mimi siko job, niko jua kali. Na jua kali yangu
Na hustle, hizi ni hustle za
wakati jua kali tunasema kwa JD yako iko na this particular salary, but then kwa mtu anasema ati baadhi yenyewe sina. Lakini the number of blessings that we have every day, they are bountiful that we can't even tukiamua kuwa faithful kutoa even the tithe year, even our
our time.
it's going to be heavy.
Yeah.
So we do not give because God is going to give to us.
No,
We give because we already
Yeah,
have.
it's the same way we love because he first loved us. Yeah, so it's the same way with the giving. We give because God had already given us. God had already provided for us, and so we are just returning back, as he said.
Mose, Metrin amesema atufanyii Mungu favor kurudisha tithe, si ndio? Sasa basi mbona ni maana sana kutoa? Atufanyii Mungu favor. It does not do him any good, monetary bringbacks, or even our livestock, so to speak, or agricultural to bring back wazina. But then why is it so important for us kutoa basi kama
Actually, looking at it critically, from the book of Malachi, the common verse, it says
Malachi 3:10.
3:10 that bring the tithe to my storehouse, that there may be meat in my house. You see, actually ukiangalia, it is even for our gain sometimes. The meat in God's house will work to serve others, and that is counted for us in heaven. Right? Another thing in that same book, actually, what I can say should motivate me and us, all of us, to give tithe, is the blessing that comes with tithing. Of course, we are blessed. Right now, I am blessed. But then I give tithe, I will also be blessed again. The verse uses the phrase, I will open the windows of heaven. The other place that phrase is used is in the time of Noah, when the floodgates of heaven were opened. The water really rose and covered the highest mountain, and then it went 10 cubits above that. That is so much blessing. Now you see God is comparing that blessing na hiyo floodgates hizo. So it means we will be fully blessed actually with tithing. See, it is not Mungu hataki sana hiyo pesa yetu. But then looking at it, it still comes round to benefit us, to benefit God's people on earth. Yes.
Matron, you have something to add? Please add, Judy. Add.
To add on what Moses has said, we're being told that obedience is better than sacrifice.
True.
When God tells us in Leviticus 27:30, I'd said verse 20 awali, I beg your pardon, it says that, and all the tithe of the land, whether of the seed of the land or of the fruit of the tree, is the Lord's. It is holy unto the Lord. This is a command. It's not something like we can, we want to reason. No, the way I can sit down with you and Matron and I start reasoning and I'm like, here papa, no, najua this month and all that stuff.
More
this
like bargaining.
Bargaining, yeah. This is holy unto the Lord. And so it's us to exercise obedience and to give this. And yes.
Wow. Now there's this. You have something to add? Please add.
There was somebody who asked me, niko kwa matatu, naenda, and then I meet a friend, anilipia fare. Hii pesa, nitapeleka wapi? Should I take it 10% or what should I do?
Swali kwetu. Matron. Mose. Matron, pick it up.
That question is tricky. Like, let's say umelipiwa fare 50 and it's exactly 50. So did you have some money?
Yes.
You had. then if you had, I believe you can tithe from the 50 shillings that you have been given, because I was just imagining a scenario where you only had that 50 shillings and you had nothing, and fare is strictly 50. As in hapo tunaweza sema Mungu ana understand.
Wacha niulize huyu mtu pia. Wakati umelipiwa fare, ulikwenda ku tithe fare? Ama what exactly?
Alikuwa shatwa tithe. But then alikuwa alipe 50. But then 50 yenye alikuwa spend kwa gari imefanywa nini, imelipwa na mtu mwingine. So
50 ilikuwa tithe. Ilikuwa yako kutumia.
Ilikuwa yako kutumia. Sasa hii pesa alikuwa anauliza anafaa kuifanyia nini?
Yeah. I want us to hold it right there, and it's a question for us when tunatazama nyumbani. Jiulize, if it were you, ungetithe hiyo pesa ama street kwa budget ya chakula? You're going for a short break. We do hope this talent is going to bless you. Hi guys, welcome back to the show. I hope mmejibu your swali. Go to our social media platforms on Facebook, that is The Identity. You can also post it on my account, that is Sama Omangi. Twitter at @Hope_Kenya. You'll get to post your responses to Krista's question, which was, umepanda gari, ushalipiwa fare. Ulikushatoa tithe. Hii pesa uko nayo, utatithe tena? Mitrin. Mose, acha tuanze na Mose.
Mimi siwezi tithe pesa.
Hiyo ni yako.
Hiyo actually, we've talked about blessings. Blessings, they come in various packages. So this time God amesema, let me bless Moses.
Wacha nikulipie fare.
Hii 50 bob atakula lunch ama atafanya nayo kitu kingine. That is a blessing. Sita tithe tena hii yenye nimebaki nayo because nimelipiwa. Yes.
Judy, umepanda mat. Donda amesema nilikuwa nimekumisi sana, wacha nikulipie fare.
Now, I'm working with the assumption that I'd already budgeted for my tithes, so I'd already cleared up my 10%. Then year 50, it's not rated, I'm counted in the 10%. Nilishakta my 10%. Yes.
Kwa hivyo hiyo tuseme ni Mungu amesema, my son, my daughter, help yourself. Okay, sawa. Now, Krista, there's something during the break you're going to bring up. I don't know if you can bring it up right now.
Yes. When because this is a modern world and the internet is all over, there was a picture that shows the members of the church that do not tithe, and it is in a notice board in front of a church. So I was wondering, is it right? Is this thing something that is good?
Okay. Kutoa tithe ama kuweka notice board kwa kanisa, watu watoe tithe.
Kuweka notice board kwa kanisa, watu hawatoi jina.
Mose, unaendanga church gani hata tujue kama ni yenu?
Church yangu sidhani sijawahi ona wakifanya hivyo. Inaitwa Katarongai Main.
What do you think about
But
it?
then I think if it were me nikiona jina yangu kwa notice board that sijatoa tithe, I will feel very bad. I will feel like watu wananiangalia, ni kama
wanakondemn na wewe.
Wanani-condemn, wananiambia maybe nilikuwa na issues zangu, maybe sikupata income, maybe things happen. And then sikutoa tithe, and then niende nipate jina yangu kwa notice board. I will feel very bad.
Moses ondieki. Mpaka nakuandikia figure yako 5,000. Au kutoa tithe?
Nita feel vibaya sana. I think it should not happen that way. Kama they are so concerned that huyu mtu atoi tithe na they are sure anapata income, they should come to me. Anulize Moses, wewe unataka aje? Form yako ni gani? Unalipwa every month and then you do not give God what is his. As a Christian myself, nafaa kukuwa guilty first of all. I know I'm doing something wrong. God has said, I bring the tithe to his storehouse. And then I take it somewhere else. That is very wrong of me. Lakini kuweko kwa notice board itakuwa extreme sana. Wakuje tu waniambie, and then wajue shida yangu ni gani.
And I think, I don't know if I'll be stepping in people's toes, but I think some churches have gone to an extra mile of reminding their congregants, you need to do a tithe. But then now, if the methods are a bit questionable, upon our back, okay, so what is really the intention? Is it bringing back the money, or is it to have a communion with God? Because I believe in giving back, in return, not even giving, in returning back the tithes, you're having a communion with God, especially in the discipline of finances. Kuna kitu amesema hapo, I would like to pick it up and bring in Judy. Kenya makanisa still pesa. Anyway, this is a festive season. Kuna mtu mwenye ako moved anasema, by the way, singipeleka pesa kwa kanisa, kuna vile sasa instead kuleta tithe kwa kanisa, mimi jusa tuko festive, yani we are in this festive season, wacha nichukue pesa nipeleke kwa children's home, nipeleke kwa street, yani doing a noble cause with the tithe. Is it wrong? I mean, it's a good initiative. Think about it.
Yeah, it's a good initiative. After all, during the during the festive season, pardon, it's a period where we should, like enjoy, be happy, share our joy with the afflicted, with the poor. So it's a noble thing. But then it's wrong to take your tithe specifically tithe to the children's home, because
Judy, it's a noble cause. Hujafanya dhambi. Hakuna dhambi umefanya, by the way, si ndio? Nile tu tithe umeona sasa this hii mwezi sio kupeleka tithe huko, acha nipeleke kwa children's home. Umesaidia mtu.
Yesu ametuambia nini? Tumeambiwa nini? We should use the Bible as our compass, as our
standard measure tool.
Exactly. What the Bible says, that's what I will do. So when the Bible says that bring the tithe into my storehouse, it is holy unto the Lord, then that's what I should do exactly. Is it zingine za offering, the free will and all that stuff, then that I should take to the poor, the afflicted, and share my joy with them. But then when it comes to the tithe, it has its own functions in the church. It's to advance the gospel. We're being told that the workers, the ministers of the gospel are to eat from the church. So tithe iko na kazi yake holy kwa kanisa. So hii ingine, the offering, then that we can choose, I can give this percentage towards the offering. I can take this, I say, today I'm going to the children's home and do this and this. But then when it comes to tithe, we have a clear guidance on what should be done.
Imagine, somebody also pull up a text from Paul's writings that say, the true worship ni ku visit the orphan, a chukli angle. Aseme, so Paul even says that this is the right worship, this is the right communion. Na mwingine peta atagi aseme, kanisa wanaiba, ama tunachanganga kila siku, kwani pesa itoshi. Pesa ya development, sijui pesa ya harusi na vile watu wengi wanaoa, baadhi watu wanyama wako happy. Congratulations for your wedding. Sisemi Nixon atemo, but congratulations.
I will take it from this perspective. First of all, it is a divine command. From Malachi chapter 3 verses 10, bring into my house. If God wanted us to direct the tithes to different places, he would have recorded that in the Bible. Then there is a book that I'm reading on counsels on stewardship that says, let none feel at liberty to retain their tithe, to use according to their own judgment. They are not to use it for themselves in an emergency, nor to apply it as they see fit, even in what they may regard as the Lord's work. Even in what you may regard as the Lord's work. So you may think that by taking your 10% to the orphanage, you are doing it for the Lord. No, the divine command is that we take it to the storehouse. Then we have offerings. We can use our offerings in different places to help other people. So the bottom line is, it is God's divine command. He has put it how he wants it, that we take it to the storehouse. Whatever is being done with it, as we have fulfilled the divine command. So the judgment belongs to the Lord.
And I think yes, Krista, please.
Yes, in the Adventist setup, we have tithes and we have offerings. Now, the tithe is what we give 10%, we return. This, as Judy said, is for the church officers and for the general, the entire church at the general conference, because it's being remitted to that side. Now, for the offering is the one that can now do these other things like the ADRA. They do community services. They can build hospitals through offerings, because we in the Adventist setup, 50% of the tithe remains to the local church to support its function, to develop, to make sure crusades happens. Many people are converted to Christ. And then we also see that running of the church activities, we use the tithe. Now, for you to say now that you are going to a children's home to forgo tithing is very wrong, because we need to return the tithe. If when we read in the book of Matthew 14, I think verse 18 there, even Melchizedek, tithe was returned, because when we look at it very carefully, Melchizedek was a priest, and Abraham himself returned tithe. He didn't just go anywhere else to do any other thing, but he made sure that he returned the tithe.
Amazing. Mose, being that it's a December, kuna watu wanasema hii Christmas lazima muhindi atatupatia pesa. Yani mtu anawekelea bet. Na tuseme ameangukia tu, let's say jackpot. Jackpot ndio kuna pesa mingi, I think. Jackpot ndio kuna pesa mingi. Ama mega jackpot. Ama tuseme tu, yani aliwekelea tu kakitu na quote and quote Mungu alimbariki akapata 100,000 ama hiyo mega jackpot. Si tithe tu. You know, si tithe tu.
Hiyo swali inanishtua, lakini unajua from the word go, betting ni mbaya. See, we all know that betting is wrong. You are not supposed to gamble. But then in the event it may happen, me sijui what is supposed to be. Because sasa umewin already uko nayo. You made a mistake, you ulibet, and then you have the 200 million.
Ngoja, mtu hawezi mfanya mistake a bet. Kuna uliamka tu haja ilibet alafu haja.
Okay, ulibet. Ulifanya a wrong thing ya kubet as a Christian. And then umewin that amount. I normally see KRA, first of all, they normally tax that cash. They normally tax it. They ensure you give them tax.
Kama jamaa alishinda juzi nasikia, anasikia sijui tax yake leo 41 million. 41 million. Ndio umeshinda.
But then I'm thinking this way. Mungu si ameallow uwini hiyo pesa. Ama hajallow. Mungu ameallow uwini hiyo pesa. Sasa sitasema utatoa tithe. Sina gold standard answer. Lakini what you can do, since you have the cash, use it for charity. Fanya charity nayo. Do good things to people. Because uko nayo, unajua huwezi tupa pesa.
Sawa. Unajua so present now that somebody can list down 3,000 questions. I'll just list two. Judy, okay, najua bet. Una betting kweli? Hata ujibet ni nini?
Absolutely.
Betting ni wakati watu wanacheza mpira alafu kuna vitu vingine mingi watu wana bet but Mungu anaweza okay.
You know, nothing catches God by surprise. That's one thing. So kama ulikuwa na bet na God anajua you're betting and he allowed it to happen, ukawin. Your question is tricks, but I don't know. I honestly don't have an answer to that.
We rely on a thin line metrin. I like how this tafadhali kama una watch tafadhali. Hii kitu ni challenging by the way. Ni challenging guys. Get to SMPs. Tell us, what do you think? Umebet. We're not saying uende bet. Please, we're not saying you don't go bet. But then in the circumstance mtu ale bet. Na unamjua ni mwadventist and apparently ni watu wako sit wrong, you know, umebet na umeshinda jackpot. Una tithe?
Ni tricky, lakini I will say, first of all, he has said, we have talked about discipline. And then again, we have said that the Bible is against gambling. So inamaanisha, ukigamble, already God is against it. So unampeaje kitu ako against. You see, if you are against, let me say, what are you against? And then I do exactly that. How will you take it? In fact, you will not even take it because that is what you dislike. So I'm just imagining if God has said no to gambling, he cannot debate to an extent that he can receive that tithe. It's you to know that now that money does not belong to God. And saa zingine tunaekeanga Mungu, mbona tunasema ni ali allow to win. The devil can also allow us to win because that is how he takes our minds out from reading the word so that we can gamble the whole day. Mbona tusiseme shetani ameni allow ni win. Why is it always God?
And I think, Krista, before I did.
Yes. Do you know the Al-Shabaabs? You remember the Westgate attack? Now, a question is, those who were involved in shooting and were paid, should they tithe?
Hey. Okay.
If the answer is no, then
Sembuse betting.
Sembuse betting.
Betting, nishaanza kukata.
The Al-Shabaab who killed, that is dirty money still.
Okay.
But if the soldiers that helped to rescue the people, they were given money, they can tithe. Because, you know, they are not killing for the wrong reason, but they are killing for protection. So their money can be accepted because that is their work.
Let us not talk about them as if they cannot speak for themselves, guys speaking. But I think there's something that, from this discussion that I'm learning, and I think it could be a take-home for each one of us to go and study further on this. And we can also take home that sometimes we put ourselves in situations that we now start claiming God's providence. For example, sometimes we put ourselves in a situation that we now get to ask and wonder, is this God's blessings or Satan's bait? You know, once you start betting, and first of all in the wrong place, and ushaanza kubet na umende pesa. Now is that God's blessing or Satan's bait? Because it also puts you in a thin line of, okay, sasa hapa, what do I do with this? And I think it falls back to us. Two wrongs will never make a right.
Sure.
You can never get, and I think also the Bible is clear, you're not doing God a big favor, kumrudishia pesa. So it does not matter how much money you've made and how much money you think the tithe could be, but as long as it's dirty money, it's still dirty money. You can never sanctify dirty money by giving tithe. It falls back to us again. It falls back to us that, hey, say, kauna tithe, that is for you to deal with your God. We are not promoting people to start a bet, you know. And I think we did an episode on this. Betting is not really biblical. Gambling is wrong, you know. But since ni challenge ni kila kijana na face sahi, even in your family right now, yes, my elder, in your family, and probably hata una bet. But let us not put ourselves in situations and then call for divine power as if you didn't know when you were going into that situation. As we come to a close, there's something about, before we progress, there's something about stewardship, and especially during this festive season. And we tackled something on, we have prepared a social media nugget for us to learn on stewardship in this particular episode. Welcome back. We do hope that those social media nuggets and it has been of essence to you during this whole season. Now, as it coming to a close, Matrin, tunajua kuna mtu atasema, mmeongelea tithing sana. Are there other aspects about stewardship that you're supposed to focus on during this festive season? Are there other aspects about stewardship?
Yes, we have aspects like health. We really need to watch how we eat. We really need to eat with a lot of diligence. We should not overeat, actually. It's against sin.
No. Unajua overeating, now it's another discussion. You know, overeating. Kuna ndugu yangu pale atasema, amekula sahani 3 ya ugali. Yeye ni kama particle. You know? Yeye ni particle tu. Hii sikukula bado. So what do you mean overeating?
We should exercise temperance. Tukule, you know, with Christmas, people think like it's the end of life. Like we do it like it will never come. As in, we should exercise temperance. Health is also another aspect of stewardship. That we should watch our health. We should watch what we eat. And then, being a festive season, there are so many things that are ongoing. So we should also be careful on what we eat, lest we regret later.
Mose. Mwaka mzima, mwaka imekunyorosha. Unaangalia tu ni resolution ya 2018. Alafu unaona tu out of your list of 10 umeachieve 0.1. The only way to console yourself ni kunyorosha tu kula December. Yani, so it is just once. It only comes once, so to speak. Is it really wrong? She has touched on also to progress on health temperance.
I think a steward is somebody that is answerable to somebody. Because as a steward, you have something that is under you that you're supposed to take care of. You have your health, you're supposed to take care of your health. And as a Christian, I am answerable to God if I mess with my health intentionally. Ninakuwa gluttonous and then naanza kupeleka hospitali ati ni nini? I overeat. If God asks me, why did you overeat? You see, as a steward, I will have failed. So I think we should be, in whatever we do, we should know that we are supposed, at the end of the day, we are supposed to be answerable to God in whatever we do. The Bible says we do everything for His glory. Eating, singing, everything that we do. So I think, bearing in mind that we should be answerable to God, that should make us be good stewards.
Judy, we have talked on stewardship. We've talked about people giving back tithe. You know, we have also talked about health. What other aspect do you think about stewardship that we should focus on also as we devour in this festive season?
The aspect of time. Time. This is a festive season where we commemorate about a Savior who is Jesus Christ, and so we should have time with our Lord. We should have time to think about our Savior. This is the time we should also think of. You know, when I read of Isaiah 53, it's a time when a king or a son was born, so that he can come and redeem us. He can come and save us, and so we should set, in as much as we go have merry and interact and catch up with friends and everything and everybody, we should have time set aside to just have a communion with our God.
Kuna mtu atakaa aseme, so unasema Christmas ni Yesu alizaliwa?
Hapana.
Yesu hakuzaliwa Christmas.
Hakuzaliwa Christmas. The Bible doesn't tell us he was born on 25th December.
Thank you. Msiseme ati Christmas. Yesu hakuzaliwa Christmas. So mako pipili yako mzuri.
Yes, according to the Bible, kitu ilifanyika on 25th December ni the release of Joachim, king of Judah. So Yesu hakuzaliwa December.
Yesu bali Yesu mwenye mulizalisha December, mtuambie pale yako kwa Biblia bana tuelewe.
Kwa sababu
actually last year we did a show on Christmas and some people are thinking tunasema tafadhali kama unajua Bible yako inasema Yesu alizaliwa Christmas, tupatie hata sisi tusome. Tujue pia na sisi tuanze kucelebrate.
Kwa sababu mbona nasema hivi? Unajua Christmas Jerusalem ni kipindi ambacho kuna snow and ice all over. So Biblia ina rekodi ya kwamba Yesu alizaliwa wakati ambapo shepherds were in the field grazing. So haiwezi kuwa hiyo wakati. Hiyo tuko na hakika. Kwa hivyo hatujasema usipike. Pika, watoto wako wakule, youths and then mkule kwa majirani. Kuleni tu, lakini atu celebrate kufa kwa Yesu, kuzaliwa kwa Yesu. But we thank God for the new year, for the fire has brought us when we are doing our new year resolutions. So when you are doing that, make sure you practice temperance, as she had said, and then make sure you reach out to the poor. Maybe you go to orphanages during that time, the less privileged, you go and visit them. And most importantly, what you have to do is that whenever you are free, make sure you go to church to welcome the new year and thank God for having taken you through.
Thank you. Mose, your final thought as you come to a close.
What I can say, as Christians, we should really honestly ask God to help us to be good stewards, because we are human. Sometimes we may trip, we may do things that are not according to what a steward is supposed to do. We should sincerely ask God to help us to be good stewards. At the same time, I believe a steward is somebody who is wise in the first place, somebody who is disciplined, and somebody who has principle that guides him in whatever he will do. In that way, we can be good stewards. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Matron. A final thought as we wind up on stewardship.
My final thought will be that in everything that we do, let the Bible be our standard of measure. Everything that we do, let us ask ourselves, what does God think about it? So I will leave us with a final verse in the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verses 9, that says, honor the Lord with your health, with the first fruits of all your crops. Then your barns will be filled to overflow, and your vats will brim over with the new wine. So the Lord has told us that in everything, let us honor him with our wealth. So let us not forget to tithe. The tithe belongs to the Lord, and it is a divine command. We should not even debate about it. We should give back.
Thank you. Judy Ayega, your final thought.
My final thoughts says, as we are continually receiving the blessings of God, so we are to be continually giving. When the heavenly benefactor ceases to give to us, then we may be excused, for we shall have nothing to bestow. God has never left us without evidence of his love, in that he did us good. So we should be found as faithful stewards.
Amen. Ndugu yangu,
Yes.
malize kitu.
Namalizia kuwa, one, we should return tithe, not give tithe.
Return, not give.
Return, not give. Then the other thing that I would also want to say is, let us do things in the right way, as it is enshrined in the Bible. Before we do anything else, as we read the Bible, 1 Timotheo wa kwanza 2:1, basi kabla ya mambo yote nataka dua na sala na maombezi na shukrani ifanyike kwa ajili ya watu wote. But as we do all that, let us remember Revelation chapter 22 verse 12. Behold, he comes quickly, and his reward is together with him, to each and everyone according to the way his work shall be. So what I have to tell the viewer is, Yesu anakuja mara ya pili, and what we have to do is basically return tithe and keep the Lord's commandment, John 14:15. Ukinipenda utazifuata amri zangu.
Hey, engineer. When you're bored, I don't want to be stereotypical, lakini sijana engineer naongea Kiswahili hivyo. I think we should actually have changed this discussion kwa Kiswahili, but thank you guys. Thank you guys for input. Ndugu zangu tafadhali. Hey, before we wind up on stewardship, there's something that I think to also proper for us. Maybe there's somebody who's looking at us and saying, "Ai, nyinyi watu kuna vitu mwelewi hapo." On the question of Christmas, share with us where it is written that case is 25. Let us say we will make merry. I know we are youth, we have all the energy. Secondly, as there's a guy who challenged me when we were having just a fair discussion about festivities. Aliuliza kama Yesu angezaliwa the festivities and tunaenda kusherehekea Christmas, so to speak, angekuwa amezaliwa hivyo, vitu tunafanya tungezifanya, you know? And if not, why don't we be good stewards of what we have? There are very many aspects about stewardship we have not been able to capture tonight, but I urge you that this knowledge is not limited to this show. Let's study. There's a lot about stewardship, about finances, about health, what she said, about time, about environment. So we are expected of us, good stewards, to remember that as we get to a month of plenty where people get to eat. Until next week, be blessed. Don't forget to share with us your inputs about this show on our SMP, that is Facebook, The Identity, on Twitter at Hope_Kenya. This show will be on YouTube, that is at Hope Channel Kenya. Till next week, be blessed.